typically try to stay away from games like Wasteland as they promise to offer a variety of quest lines and ways to approach gameplay, but end up being too streamlined. After I poured countless hours into other titles, a new adventure sounds daunting. Still, here I am, 80 hours later, playing Wasteland 3, roaming around a hellish Colorado landscape and enjoying every moment of it.
No one's coming to save.
Wasteland 3 begins with a tragedy, however it marks the perfect introduction to just how punishing the rest of your adventure will be. After losing a significant battle, you find yourself taking a job from the Patriarch of Colorado, and with it, you receive a new base of operations. It's a speedy opening, but it gives you the basics of how you can play, and then it lets you out into the world. Throughout your adventure, people will request your help, and you will make decisions of whether you want to do it or how you want to approach the situation. However, it isn't always so black and white. Some choices that are made require a great deal of thought because they will affect relationships you built 40 hours earlier. These choices also lead to your overall appeal with the various townspeople. Depending on how you respond or who you help, things could become more accessible to you. Still, you aren't some untouchable force within the community, as there always seems to be a few things ready to knock you off your high horse that you've established after your 20-hour mark. Quests offered are mostly all thought-provoking and unique. Simple quests like go kill someone turn into lengthy adventures full of new insights and ways to approach a situation. Wasteland 3 has some incredible RPG storytelling, as you are in complete control over the flow of the narrative. I couldn't seem to get enough of it as I kept telling myself one more quest even into the early morning hours. One aspect you have complete control over is the growth of your base. You recruit new NPCs to help liven the place up. Depending on your choices of which people you invite back to your base, the overall atmosphere seemed to be unique to me as I created it through my actions. It's as if the HQ is a representation of how many hours you've poured into the game. Watching it grow is exceptionally satisfying. The main quest will lead you through a few narrative twists, but these choices of how you get there are yours to make. I'd hate to spoil that experience. It's a game that is genuinely shaped by the player as you put your trust into certain groups. I would say that the journey is just as gripping as the destination, and the memories you make along the way to your objective are what this game is all about. There are plenty of strategy turn-based battles to encounter on your way through your objective. During gameplay, players can ride around on a customizable car to access new dungeons and towns. There are random encounters that will occur on your route sometimes, but specific skills can help you get through it. The developers seem to put a lot of thought into the layout of towns as each flowed nicely and provided exploration aspects to them. NPCs will call out for you sometimes, but there are also quests that you will need to initiate yourself. Again, this only makes the entire experience feel unique to the player. You can also be bad and find ways to steal from people, which is always a good time after a quick save. Dungeons each have various paths and ways to approach exploration. Given the isometric view, the designers seem to use this to their advantage to hide secret areas and items. Like most of these games, I typically spend time maxing out lockpick and other hacking skills so that I don't miss out on any loot. Thankfully, only one of the 6 party members had to have this skill maxed out, and each member benefited from it. So I just had super skilled one-trick ponies to my party, but you better believe nothing stood in our way. I really enjoyed the variety of dungeons that I was able to explore. Sure, each had apparent areas where you knew a battle was going to take place, but I never felt like the layout became overly repetitive. There are also gimmicks that they lay around the dungeons, which are tied to some quest lines, but others are just there to shake things up a bit. Once you encounter a group of enemies, a battle starts. Similar to games such as XCOM, Wasteland 3 is a cover-based SRPG. You'll be moving units behind structures, flanking, and continuously adjusting to the variety of new enemy units. I created a diverse group of rangers to run with, so I strategized battles around their strength. Enemy AI takes some interesting actions sometimes, but they are pretty ruthless overall depending on your difficulty setting. Given that you're living in a post-nuclear war, resources are pretty scarce. One wrong move could mean the end of the battle for you, but so can running out of ammo. It's a balance of resource management and strategy as the battle progresses. There are some interesting ways to take advantage of the environment to help you out, but I also always enjoyed throwing down a couple of turrets to get me out of a tight situation. The new enemy types and dungeon layouts make encounters less repetitive, but each battle is memorable based on the level of detail they have. Customization improves across each level as you distribute points into skills, abilities, and perks. You're pretty much free to create the specific type of party that you want, and I found that I was able to fine-tune each party member to fit my playstyle. Furthermore, some items can only be used by characters with a high enough proficiency with a particular skill, making each character an asset during an encounter. Where Wasteland 3 is currently lacking is in its multiplayer elements, which is having some significant issues. These issues are pretty much exclusive exclusive to the multiplayer mode, as I even lost a particular quest line during my time playing. However, I did encounter a few glitches during the main campaign where a character would transport across the map. Still, the developers are aware of these bugs and have promised to fix them. Wasteland 3 is an incredibly long game, and some aspects of it make it feel even larger, such as the general running speed of the group or the load times between areas. Graphically, the game is great and represents the world and environments wonderfully. Still, I would have liked more cinematic moments during campaign missions just to make them feel a little more epic.
When the world ended, they tried to bring some order to what was left of Arizona. But then, the Cochise AI woke up, and they found themselves in a fight to the death with its robot army.
Wasteland 3 will consume your life as it did mine. The game makes progression come across so naturally through its narrative-focused world building from choices made by the player. During the countless quests and memories made across some impressive set pieces, I would say Wasteland 3 is one of the best entries in the RPG genre. Throw in accessible leveling features, likable characters, and wrap them up in an engaging cover-based battle system, and you have everything you need to keep you playing for months. Sadly, the bugs encountered were mostly found in multiplayer, which is one of its most prominent features, but the developer has acknowledged that a patch is in the works. Noisy Pixel is giving Wasteland 3 a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review on noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our feature content.